JD Vance gave a absolute masterclass on the failures of globalisation during the week. It really was quite a remarkable speech. Look it up. And he talked about this theory of globalisation where you get the developing nations to make things and the rich countries just consume it, presuming that's going to be good for everybody. But it's not, because the countries that make things, that manufacture, they start to learn how to innovate. And they are now the ones who are winning.
And they're going to eat our lunch. And,
well, this is the key
point. There was a moment here on this about globalization, and I was fascinated to see this in the New York Times of all places, that they were having a big old attack on, you know, the Trump-Vance economic agenda of bringing manufacturing back to the United States. And they were still running with the line, and I couldn't believe it, that they're saying this with a straight face. Well, you know, globalization is great because the overall economy does better, even if some individuals lose out, which is code for you get a cheaper fridge, but you can't afford to buy it.
That's it. And when they say some, they mean the working class, the middle class, pretty much everybody except the very top who benefit enormously. And this is why Donald Trump's economic policies, they're not straight out conservative, centre-right, right-wing. If you actually look at it, there is a lot of what was traditionally leftist philosophy in there about protecting workers, about boosting manufacturing, boosting the salaries of lower paid workers. And there's an element of protectionism.
The point here, Rita and James, is that we have the blueprint, the Trump blueprint. It's sitting there. Yep. We can pick it up off the shelf and have the most successful economy in the world. If we had a coalition, as Rita was saying, that was as single-minded as it was during The Voice and as determined to oppose, as James was saying, everything that Labor touches. Everything that Labor touches, it turns to ashes. It destroys, it ruins, it's turning us into a socialist country. The coalition has to oppose every single element of what Labor are proposing, not copy it, and copy the Donald Trump blueprint. Make Australia, I've got it here, MAGA, make Australia great again. I've got a hat, make Albo Go Away. That is MAGA in Australia, make Albo Go Away. Thanks to Phil for sending me that hat. But the point is that the Donald Trump blueprint is there for Australia. Make us the wealthiest nation on the planet. We have all the resources, as Rita was saying. We have a workforce that is there if it could be galvanised. Get rid of the red tape, get rid of the green tape, incentivise small business, get them up and working again, give people the opportunity to set up their own companies and get going. And the key thing is to use the Donald Trump revolution, not oppose it, not run away scared from it, which is what both sides of politics here are doing, and we will be the poorer because of it, James.
Well, you know, there's so many things that they can do. They can get rid of the capacity mechanism, which is basically the carbon tax on the 100 biggest emitters. That's the first thing they should do. Just say, that is gone. Do that and see industry thrive.
And also, let's talk about net zero, because I'll be talking about it later in the show. But the reality is the coalition, by staying in Paris and staying with net zero, it's literally like they're going to swim the 50 metres, and at the last moment they've gone, let's tie some 5-kilo weights around our ankles and see how we go. Net zero will cripple this country. Look at America, drill, baby, drill, as you were saying, Rita. That is what Australia should be doing to make ourselves wealthy. Every Australian could be so wealthy. We don't need this welfare mentality. We don't need this socialism. We could be the most thriving, economically powerful nation on earth if we chose to galvanise our people and our resources. And to do that, we need a coalition that is committed to the Trump revolution. Don't be scared of tariffs. Use tariffs to build up our own economy. We should be an independent economy capable of having an independent military that is self-funded and self-financed and has, because we have the cheapest resources on the planet if we chose to use them, Rita.
We do, but here we are. And again, look at Victoria as an example of how far this lunacy can go. Victoria, sitting on just enormous amounts of gas, has changed its constitution. We changed it a couple of years ago to ban fracking. It's in the Victorian constitution, thanks to the support of the feckless Victorian Libs. So even if we do have a Liberal government that's sane and says, OK, we can pay down our debt perhaps by fracking, You can't, because you will need 3/5 of both houses to change the Constitution back. And do you think Labor and the Greens are going to vote to change the Constitution to allow fracking? Not a chance in hell. So the Vic Libs have been complicit in engineering this disaster for Victoria. And we are just so, insane when it comes to things like fracking. Barack Obama fracked extensively under his administration.
The fracking under Donald Trump, the hydraulic shale extraction and all of that under Donald Trump's first administration achieved energy independence for the United States.
Yes.
Why are we not
We could do it tomorrow. Absolutely.
Well, you can't in Victoria. The Constitution, Rowan.
No,
the Constitution.
well, exactly. Well, we know. Well, let's maybe Victoria, we've talked about this before, could break away, be a separate socialist state. But in fact, the rest of Australia is running to join the socialist mentality, which is so dangerous. And the coalition has to understand that Donald Trump is not the enemy. Don't embrace the Trump revolution. They seem to be scared of the media.